Welcome back, everybody, to our final hour of this, the 12th episode of The Burning Wheel.
Sweet.
Rooster, you shit-disturbing maniac. So you've placed this.
I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, you placed this like. Okay, so I guess my question is, when the kid sits down, when this like late teenager sits down, do you leave the piece of paper on the table, or is it like a whoop, I'm taking it off the table and hiding it kind of situation?
I leave it on the table because it doesn't register for me that people can reading. What? I don't get it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't occur to you.
If it's like he's not looking at it directly, he can't read it.
Yeah, okay. So he's pretty distracted with the woodsman right now. So he sits down and he's looking at you very seriously, woodsman. And you've got his like bottle of wine in your hand. You notice there's no glasses around, but whatever. And he says, "Yeah, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but and he like looks back, and you notice now that there's a group of like men and women standing over by the open doors, like smoking cigarettes, and they're all trying really hard not to look over at you." He's like, "We've been trying to get some of that stuff for months, and when we heard," and he kind of gestures vaguely in the direction of the harbor. He's like, "When we heard one of the gray ships had come in, we thought, I mean, maybe, but no one here is well connected enough, and I heard you say, I mean, do you know where we can get some?"
Rooster pipes in with, "I know where you can get some."
He turns and looks, and he smiles, and he's like, "Excellent, excellent."
Wait a minute. If some is what I think some is, you don't want to get some. Trust me.
He kind of
Agnes
scowls at
is
you. It's like,
rolling her eyes into the back of her head. Now she realizes that this is a drug.
yeah, he kind of scowls, and he says, I didn't think it was gonna be like that. And then he kind of like very pointedly turns his attention to Rooster, and kind of gives you a look like, yeah, no, go ahead, tell me.
I'm just like, "Oh, you go to like such and such neighborhood."
Are you giving him like real directions?
I refer to the neighborhood by its like
Yeah, like
colloquial name.
sure, like
Like,
yeah,
not the
little
wacky
Stygia or
I
whatever.
think before Rooster can get that out, I want to like interrupt and be like, well, wait a moment. Like, why don't you explain to me what it is that you believe this stuff is and what it does, and Rooster over here will tell you where you can knock yourself out.
He says, well, what do you mean? It's the Stygian lotus. It's the flower of truth. Have you not? And he's like, hold on. And he gets up and he walks over to where like all the coats are kind of like hung up on these pegs, and he like digs through one of the pockets of ostensibly his coat, and he takes out a book, like a little leather bound chap book, and he comes back and he puts it on the table. And you see on its cover, embossed in the cover, is it's like a black leather, and there's like a gray kind of like embossed section, and it's a wheel, but its hub is a skull, and he says, he taps it, and he's like, looks around, he's like, it's not a strictly legal translation, but it's a Stygian Book of the Dead. And he like opens it, and inside you can see like he's flipping through it, and he flips to a page that on first glance, Woodsman, like you look at it, it's a like a woodcut like ink drawing of you sitting in a chair holding a bundle with like your wife's hand on your shoulder, but your wife is a skeleton, and you blink hard when you see it, and then it's not that anymore. It's a six-armed skeleton holding like a knife, a skull, a wheel, the flower, like a kind of like a Shiva-looking like skeleton, standing on top of a step pyramid. And he's like, it's in here some. Here it is. And he folds it open and holds it out to you. And it's an illustration, like a scientific illustration of the flower that you saw in the bowl from the night before. And it's all written in this like strange scrawling language. But next to it on the other page, there's written in the like tongue of Freiburg, like a description of this flower. And he like taps it and he says, it's supposed to open your mind, let you see things like more real than real, you know?
I just sigh and look to the rooster, and I'm excusing myself from this
Okay.
exchange now.
I'm extremely close to the woodsman. Like, my nose is like 2 inches away from the book.
Oh yeah.
You're just like, knowledge, yes.
Like, my hands are kind of like on the edge of it. Like,
Look, say what you will about my drug addiction, but I think the real problem here is your addiction to reading.
Your reading, your book addiction. All right, egghead. We're all gonna go get high, and you can read
yeah,
a
I'll
book.
just
You
fucking
deviant.
read this book for 4 hours. Like, whatever.
So unhealthy.
We all have our things.
So yeah, like Rooster will chime in at this point and just say, "You must think the world's a much nicer place than I do if you want to see it that closely." This is to the kid.
Yeah. He looks at you and he shakes his head. He's like, no, the opposite. In fact, I think all this, and he gestures around. This is all an illusion. And he taps the book. He's like, it's all laid out in there. The dark stuff, that's what's real. I want to get in touch with that. We all do.
Well, if none of this is real, then you won't mind risking that little neck of yours going to what's the name of that like shady neighborhood I was in? What's its colloquialism or whatever?
I don't know. I mean, so like the things we know about Stygians is that they have a grayish pallor to their skin. They're rumored to be sorcerers. They're from a place that's across the ocean. And they have like strange customs.
So maybe they call it like the witch quarter or something like that.
Yeah. I like
It's like
that.
everyone thinks they're being real clever because it's a play on words, right? With witch versus wit.
Right. Yeah, Witch Town or the Witch Quarter. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'm like, you just take your skinny little ass to Witch Town, knock on the right door.
And he puts his hands up and he's like, well, it's finding the right door that's the problem, isn't it? But I mean, your friend said and you know where to find some. I mean, if you could just tell me where to go or who to talk to.
And I like look him up and down. I'm like, hey, if I ever want to go back there, I can't bring shit like you to the place. Tell you what, you go come by it honestly, do the legwork like I had to, and I like clank my stump on the floor.
Okay. I think he scowls and shakes his head and he's like, you don't know where I can get Lotus. And he like gets up and like puts his hand on his book and goes to take it. Do you like hold on?
My hand is still on the book.
Yeah. So he
I
like
need to borrow this. Like, I'm not asking. I'm like, I need to borrow this.
So he looks at you and then looks at Rooster and he's like, well, maybe we can make a trade.
I'm just like, or maybe you can move along and not piss Rooster off. It's been a long day.
Let the Wookiee win.
Yeah, and like as he stood up, I also stood up.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm a little bit short, so I'm still like not really like quite looking eye to eye with him. And yeah, I just like fix him with the death glare for a minute. Why you want it so bad? Be real with me.
Okay, why don't you try to persuade him?
Yeah.
Anybody want to help the Rooster?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What's my obstacle here?
It's gonna be his will, so obstacle's 3. Do you have persuade or persuasion or whatever it's called in this
Yeah. Yo, I got gray shade persuade.
Gray suede
Wow.
persuade. Okay, cool. All right, so if you're helping Rooster, how are you helping him? What do you say to convince this kid? So the kid is like, he looks at the book, he looks at Agnes, then looks at Rooster, and he's like, well, maybe we can make a trade. And then Rooster's like, okay, why do you want it?
Well, I think what I said before could maybe constitute the helping aspect of it. Like, rather than abstain from the conversation, I was just like, or maybe you could just move along so Rooster doesn't get upset. Like, that sort of thing.
Sure,
Like,
you're putting some weight
Like
behind Rooster's
intimidation.
words. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, you're helping with like intimidate or persuade.
Yeah,
or
I guess.
whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you gonna help Agnes, or do you
Yeah, I
just
would
want
like to.
Okay, what skill do you want to help with?
Maybe I could try to apply streetwise in such a way that I'm like implying like you need to be real with this kid because this stuff is crazy and like
You've seen some shit.
yeah, like we've seen some shit and
Okay.
this stuff is messy and you need to be honest with us so we can help
Okay.
you out kind of
So
thing.
your intent here, Rooster, is that he explained to you why they want this drug?
Yeah, because he's like, oh, it's the flower of truth and all this like.
So we can do a separate test or some other related thing, Agnes, if you want to try to get the book from him, but the book is not.
Yeah.
I was about to say the book is not on the table, but that's literally exactly where it is. Okay, so
Yeah.
for this particular test, okay. If you fail, I think he'll lie to you, but you won't know he's lying. Like Rooster won't know.
Oh yeah, well, that's not surprising. Okay, so I've got double help, and just to be safe, can I fork in intimidation as well?
Yes.
Great. And op 3.
Okay. Oof.
Womp womp.
And no sixes either. Okay.
Damn.
Okay, so he says, I think he says to you, well, it's as Gertrude says. If we reject the opening of the mind, we embrace the closing of the heart. We just want to be better people, and we think that this is going to help us understand the world just a little better.
Yeah, and Rooster has just like totally like glazed over as soon as like the philosopher Gertrude or
You're like, oh god.
Just like tune him out.
Okay.
I'm just like, well, and I looked to like the woodsman and Eggs. I'm like, it's like I said, bunch of bullshit. No, you're not. I can't take you there.
He says. So I think he takes the like he's got his like thumb in the spine of the book now, and he like pulls it out from under your hands, Agnes, like closes it, and he says this to you, Agnes. He's like you don't have to take us there, you could just go get some, and he like tucks the book into his coat pocket or into his like jacket pocket, and again like to Agnes, he's like, so think about it. And he turns and he starts to walk away. And as he passes the woodsman, he looks at the bottle of wine in your hand. And he's like, "Yeah, you could just keep that." And then like,
I don't.
Just throw it out the window anyways.
Just complete stone face to him.
yeah. So he walks off.
And so yeah, the Rooster like I turned to Agnes. I'm just like, yeah, of course he wants someone to go get it for him. Typical.
What is happening?
Me and the
Why?
woodsman
What?
just went out to celebrate because we came back, we did the job. It's only natural for two men to go out and celebrate. And that's what we did.
He took us to a really fucked up bar, and they had some really fucked
Hey,
up.
that is a good place. That is one
that
of a
why
kind.
random teens are hassling me right now? What's up with that?
Sounds like you're hassling them a bit, though. To be fair.
Yeah, you got flour all over his little flower book. And Rooster like doesn't clue into the pun.
Yeah.
I get up and go to my room.
Okay.
I leave.
Okay. So I think that as you head to your room, like you just like in your head you just have this like you can still feel the like weird vellumy paper of that book like under your fingers and like
Yeah,
the
the
kind
urge.
of the kind of vaguely cloying smell that you're the only one that noticed when you opened the book, and like trying to figure out like what was the leather of that book made out of, and like what like how did they, and like the like beautiful illustrations in it, and like it just
Like
you
a
keep
book
seeing
shelf.
it, and you're trying to cling to the like just the barest things you can remember from seeing it that one time briefly on the table.
That's that's bizarre.
Hmm.
I I I try to find a room with no one in it.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do.
I take my little crumpled piece of paper and try to make sense of that by myself.
Yeah. So you just like go back there and like unfold it and sit down.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the page, there is just like her kind of inelegant handwriting, and it seems to be written in like a student's shorthand, like she's used to taking notes. Do you want to try to decipher it?
Sure.
Okay. So it's a read test, and it's a yeah. That's so funny. So because reading is still like not that like well disposed, it's by default assumed you're reading out loud. It's plus one ob if you want to read silently. That's so funny. Because people don't know how to read. Like reading is just not a thing. It's assumed.
That's
You're just
funny.
like,
It's most people sounding things out
Yeah.
slowly.
Well, I'm assuming I found the room that I wanted to find with no one else in it.
Mhm.
I'll read it aloud.
there's
That's
lots of
fine.
empty space. Okay. All right. So we'll just say obstacle two, ob two read test.
Okay.
I mean, Adam, we can drift it a little bit, right? Given our description of the society we're
Yes,
in.
definitely. I just thought it was an interesting choice on the part of the ob setting. And I think that means like reading like silently, like if you whisper or like just move your lips or whatever quietly. But still, yeah, you can't parse her shorthand. Mark that difficult test for read.
All right.
You pick up all the proper nouns. It mentions the Revolutionary Council, like you know the Freiburg word for that, and it mentions Basil by name a couple of times, and the name Erasmus comes up a few times. And I think that's all you can get out of it. It definitely seems to be, yeah, like there's a lot of places that are like scratched out where she's like, she seems to be trying to interpret or remember something like she said, and you just catch those bits and pieces, but everything else is you'd have to get her to, I don't know,
Okay.
translate. Or if you could, if you get, you could take another shot at it if you could get a bigger sample of her shorthand. It's just this like half page is not enough.
That's interesting. Okay. Well, I definitely pocket it for later.
Okay. Sounds good.
what I do
Rooster
for now.
and actually Woodsman, where do you go? You got a bottle of wine and a bunch of teenagers around the house.
Like what time of day is this?
It's past dark in early spring, so there's still several like hours before it gets like night, but it's yeah, the cold is starting to pick up. They've lit a fire in the fireplace, closed the like veranda doors, but they keep getting open because people keep going outside.
So I think I'd probably just take my bottle to like some like the most distant corner of the like common area. So probably with people around, but like trying to space myself as far from them as possible,
Okay.
and just slump down and probably drink.
Okay. I think you take the first like the first sort of swig of wine, and your stomach grumbles and jabs at you. When you realize you haven't eaten like at all today, and yeah, yeah, you just feel like a deep sort of like ache in your stomach.
Do we have a fridge?
No, there's a kitchen somewhere, but you've never been to it. The teenagers just seem to like have food sometimes.
Can I like observe the likely source of the food?
Nobody seems to be eating now, but if you want to go and like wander around looking for the kitchen.
Yeah, I think I would. The woodsman doesn't deprive himself of food.
Okay. All right. So you lumber off looking for it. Okay. So it'll take you a little bit. Rooster, what are you doing? and we'll jump back to Woodsman and get you some food.
So I think the rooster, like, everyone kind of goes their separate ways, and Rooster just like goes, like, picks up his piece of paper
Mhm.
and like stuffs it in a pocket or whatever, and then goes to try to find Agnes.
Okay.
He like follows after her,
Okay. Sure.
but like a while later, so he's kind of like going through the house looking for her.
Okay. So you go look for her, Woodsman. You find the like kitchen eventually. You just like follow the smell of food. It's empty when you find it. There's like a long like wooden counter. There's an iron like a cast iron stove, some like wash basins, and sitting on the counter there's a like a like a cooked like a duck maybe, and you like you're startled by it at first because yeah immediately you flash back to the like the strange bird from the card and your you know vision, and then you realize that no it's actually there, and yeah, and it's like partially carved, and just like sitting there, and on the like platter that it was made in there's some like vegetables sitting there as well. And yeah, your mouth starts to water.
Yeah, if there's like a drumstick remaining, I think I just tear it off and walk away with that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so I think you do. You like tear some food off and start down the hallway, and someone maybe you didn't notice them in the kitchen before they came in after you or something. You hear them say as you leave, they're like, "Hey." Do you stop or you just keep walking?
I slowly stop, turn slowly.
Yeah, there's a like a young man dressed similarly to the way the rest of them are. He's got like a guitar like strung across his back. You can see the like handle of it kind of like sticking out. And he looks at you and he like gestures to the food and he's like, "That's not yours. You can't just take whatever you want."
Is this your house?
He like looks at you like that's a totally absurd question. He's like, "This house doesn't belong to anyone. It's the property of the people."
Okay. And I turn around and start walking again.
All right. So he's only brave enough to shout at your back as you walk away. And he's like, "Hey, fuck you, man."
Fuck you, man.
Okay, and you like walk off.
I think
with his
I think
duck.
actually no, I'm really salty right now.
Yeah, for good reason.
So like I turn around and I think I try to kind of accost him. I like try to grab for the guitar strung around his back.
Okay.
Did I roll to do that?
Yeah. Do you want to like take his guitar away from him?
Yeah.
Okay,
I want to
sure.
grab his guitar.
People's guitar too. People's everything. Hit him with it.
Okay. Let's do an opposed like power test. I guess you just like wrestle with him.
Or would it maybe be speed to try to like get to it before he reacts?
Maybe. I mean, what do you want to like physically like take it away from him?
Yeah, I just kind of want to like sort of push him aside
Yeah,
and
take
grab.
it away. Yeah, it's a power test.
Power then, yeah, totally.
Okay, so I got
We're heroes.
I got a 2.
We're adventurers.
Wait, what's the ob?
Up 2 because that's what I rolled.
Oh, okay.
But up 1 because it's a versus test.
Damn it!
All right.
Oh no.
So here's the
Everything
thing.
college kids. So
Yeah, you like go to
Yeah.
grab him, and maybe you're not as like maybe you get dizzy or something. And you like stumble a little bit, and he like steps back and like pushes you, and you stumble to the floor and like drop the like bottle of wine and the like food, the like drumstick. So the drumstick like lands on the ground. You hear a smash as the like bottle breaks, and you're like basically on your hands and knees, and he's standing behind you. And then he's like, "See, this is what happens. You try to take other people's things. Nobody gets anything, fucking asshole." And you like hear him like walking towards you.
This is really the teacher.
Okay. Well, okay. So just to rewind a moment, I want to clarify that when I failed,
Yeah.
I actually had this brief flashback
Mm.
of like this this woman sitting beside a sort of creek playing a guitar, and it was the same woman from my trip, my wife. And just in that instant, I lost like my,
Totally.
composure.
Yeah, that's perfect. So you were fine. Like you're going for the guy, and then it was just like, fuck, and like, and then he just like pushed you aside.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So he's walking towards me now.
Yeah.
So I guess I posture like defensively to like, just stave off whatever he's gonna do as he approaches me.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's not really sure. Like, he just takes a couple of aggressive steps towards you, and if you are kind of like put your hands up or like kind of give him a like, whoa, back off.
I'm standing my ground. I'm gonna stare him down.
Okay.
Like, be ready to grapple or whatever.
Okay. Why don't you roll to intimidate him?
Okay.
We'll say ob 2 for that.
Dude, it's a hard roll. It's a hard roll, Colin.
What's intimidate?
Based on will.
Based on your will. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, two and 2 for you in that case.
Damn.
Okay. So I think that he's just walking towards you, and you like stand your ground, and I think he kicks you in the ribs, and just like shouts, kind of in that like his voice is like breaking a little bit, like he's very emotional. He's like fuck you, you're not. Fuck you, man, and like turns away and like kind of like storms off as you have this like racking pain. Like the kick wasn't that bad. Like he was kind of like it wasn't very well placed or whatever. But like you got problems. You got physical problems, and that it triggered that, and so you're just like like grabbing at your stomach as he like walks away, and you're kind of like you can feel the wine from the broken bottle like seeping into the knees of your pants. On the like cold stone floor as this asshole walks away from you.
Damn.
As you feel the wine in your stomach eroding.
So
I don't know if I have the will to even get up. Like
yeah, right. Well, I was gonna say like maybe you just like kind of collapse there for a minute, and we cut over to Rooster.
Oh look, it's rock bottom again.
This is just fucking my life.
Yeah, it's like watching someone drop a ball on a hard floor. You're just running out of energy. The bounces are getting lower every time.
Yep.
So, meanwhile, back upstairs, Rooster, you find the room that Agnes has gone to examine this paper in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Rooster kind of like knocks roughly on the door.
So, if it's been a while since I've left the common area, she's probably like kind of sparring and doing like footwork by herself. She's
perfect. Yeah.
She's removed her like she's got this like kind of like chunky linen dress thing and then a smock over it and then light mail under all of that. So she's just kind of down to her like small clothes, I guess you would call them.
I really like the book ending that's happening here. This is really nice. Like you're doing your fucking crane punch katas, and this is when the Rooster finds you. Cool.
Yeah. So I open the door. I'm a little sweaty.
Yeah, and like this is like very familiar kind of stuff for the Rooster, so it's actually like it's almost comforting for him that you're doing this. Talk to you about too, so he's like, yeah, you know how to fight. It's like he starts the conversation like in the middle of it.
So I crack the door at first and I see it's you and I'm like, oh, and I like swing it open. I'm like,
you know how to fight, and I like don't quite let myself into the room yet because I'm super awkward.
Yeah, and I like it's like I'm like basically in my old-timey underwear, but I don't give a shit. I'm just like, oh, thank you. You ready to talk about something?
And I like look around and kind of clue in, like, oh yeah. I look at you and I'm like, well, and I walk in.
Okay.
Well, I would imagine that like the societal rules of modesty are not a thing that Rooster would understand because both you're not allowed, you had not been previously allowed
I'm
privacy.
not permitted to have modesty.
Yeah, but then inversely, you're an object, not a person. So you probably saw lots of people naked that wouldn't let other people in that situation where they're just like, "Cool, dress me, moron, do it," And you're like, you have this very different relationship with people's like personal space.
Yeah. So yeah, he just walks in, and yeah, maybe in a surprising way, it's like not awkward to be talking to him in this context. And so yeah, he's like, "Look, I want to go see this," and I'm like holding the piece of paper, but I don't want to watch it exactly. I need to size these fuckers up.
Do you understand what this means?
Sorry?
Do you understand what this means?
Well, what the man said was that these two are going to fight and people are going to place bets on it. I used to do this kind of thing. Apparently these guys get paid. And I like say that with so much scorn. And just like, and I kind of shrug, but anyways, I want to see how all this shit goes down. And this Booker, all we did with this whole revolution thing, I mean, people like him are in charge now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can do something about it. At the very least, I want to kill him. I don't know if it'll matter. I've been thinking about that.
Well, I just say, well, you're not going alone.
Good. Someone's got to watch my back.
Cool. Well, why don't we close it up there? That sounds like a good place to like end that scene.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, let's do rewards. That was a really good session. I really like seeing you're like getting into the burning wheel like in a way that is making the system work nicely. I'm excited about it. The more you get familiar with your characters and the way that like beliefs and instincts work and how you figure out each other's characters, the less work I have to do. Like Colin, when you were like, "Oh, let me just bait Andrew into doing some crazy stuff," I was just like, "Yes, awesome." I'm free.
I'm free.
It's so great. Okay, so let's go through. Let's start with Agnes because that's where we started the session.
Okay.
So fate point for pursuing but not resolving a belief. The Simon one. So I will seek Simon to put myself at ease. You sought out Simon. You pursued it. Did it put you at ease, or is there more work to do there with Simon?
No, it was completely open-ended.
Yeah, so take fate for that one.
Okay.
But what you might want to do is add to it, like, I will find out what debt Simon owes the police so that I
Right.
can, like you can build on that. I try to give you a little bit more of like stuff you could pursue if you want to.
Sure.
Or you can make a belief that's like, I will leave Simon to his fate. His own mistakes are his to deal with. Okay, so take fate for that one for sure. I don't know. Did you allow your companions to do the talking for you? Did that come up in a way?
Not really. They didn't say a whole lot.
Yeah. I feel like again, I think like we were talking about at the beginning, we're starting to see a more aggressive side of Agnes. Okay.
Yeah.
So consider revising that one for next time.
Yeah.
I definitely saw you defend your companions and be their fist if necessary. Though it wasn't maybe the companions you expected, right? Like Simon needed your help, and you definitely were
That's
there.
true.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Okay. Any of your instincts or traits cause you chaos or trouble in the session? I feel like you probably could have. Like, I feel like women of a few words cause some issues because you didn't say anything about the book, which you
Yeah,
could
that's
have.
true.
Like, you didn't step up when you needed to.
Yeah.
And I think there was some
And
of that stuff early.
I didn't press either of them about like what the fuck was happening either.
Yeah.
So
Right. Totally. Okay, cool. So yeah, take a fate for women of few words, and then the two for your beliefs.
cool.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Cool. All right. Woodsman.
Okay, so in not being close with anyone, I don't think I really.
I mean, you actively rejected an opportunity to get close to the rooster, right? Rooster was
Well,
like, "Let's party." And you're like, "But fuck you! I'm gonna get super tanked on weird juice."
Yeah, I was very indifferent about that
Yep.
encounter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw you like actively. The rooster was actively rejected there, where you were like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm more interested in drinking the most fucked up thing in this bar, and then not remembering like I'm out."
Right. Right.
Yeah. So definitely take a fate for that one for sure.
Okay.
And then I think also it ties into the like the world is a cold, violent place and life doesn't mean anything. Like you did exactly the most dangerous thing you could do in that situation.
Yeah.
So definitely take fate for that one too.
Cool.
Gonna embrace that spiral.
Oh yeah. Well, your character's written to spiral into a massive pile of points. So
It's so sad right now. Like where we
I know we leave you just like
session is just like terrible.
It's like he found the bottom, and then rather than bounce, he just like scrapes along it forever.
yeah.
So my third belief probably doesn't come into play today.
No, not today.
Yeah, and instincts. I was suspicious of strangers, but it didn't like get me.
Yeah,
into
your instincts helped you in that case. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, because it was the process was really interesting, right? Because it was like you used your instinctively, you still have these like hunter's instincts, right? So you were like, is there anything in here that's gonna like immediately cause me any harm? Is there an external source of danger? No? Cool. Is there an internal source of danger? Yep. Let's go with that.
Yeah,
Right?
I'll
Like-
cause it to myself then.
Yeah, you told the inner beast to be like, chill, everything's safe here, and then your conscious mind was like, let's get tore up.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting psychology where you're like, is it safe? I'm like, yeah, you're fine, it's safe. And then you're like, well, I'm gonna self-destruct. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
And then also, like, I made a note here too, like, alcoholic, obviously. Ulcer for sure. Like you definitely played
Right.
into that one. And I think we made it pay off at the end with that failed roll. I think we're starting to see it's your call, but that like resigned to death. I definitely think we're starting to like at least drift into that. If you want to take fate for it today, like drinking the Black Lotus juice that's above and beyond just alcoholism. And you yourself referred to it as poison, so
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I agree with that.
cool, excellent. He's just bathing in fate points.
Yeah, I know.
It's perfect. This is what you want. You want to have like lots of fate points. You want to spend them every time you roll a 6 because it'll help you get what you want. Rooster,
Cool.
my dear friend.
I don't know if I really played up much of my companions or strangers to hardship. I must bear the worst of it for them.
You kind of got surprise attacked on that, where you're like, "I'm suffering," and then Woodsman's like, "Nah, dog. Let me handle this. I can suffer for me."
What else have we got here? Figuring out where I fit in this new city. I think a rooster may have figured it out, and it happened kind of quietly.
Yeah.
But basically, and this is something that I guess we'll get in more like flashbacks to my crazy drug trip.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that this whole like that day was a big turnaround point for Rooster.
Well, I would love to do literal flashbacks. So, like, it was fun doing the, like, this is what your character experienced from their point of view. But it would be fun to just be like, for you to be like, I want to flash back to a thing that happened while I was high out of my gourd. And, like,
Yeah.
just literally, like, what happened to you in real life.
So I have some thoughts of where that
Okay.
might take us,
Cool.
like next session and stuff. But I think it's time for me to wrap up this belief,
Okay.
or at least this like part of it, because basically he's gonna be like doing some really ill-equipped, like detective shit. That's what he's gonna be doing. He's kind of
Perfect.
figured it out
Okay.
for himself.
So do you feel like you've resolved Freiburg is dangerous and changed? I should figure out where I fit in this new city?
Yeah, I think he's kind of like situated himself within
Okay.
this like like as far as he's interpreting it, this like array of dangers.
Sounds good. Yeah, take the persona for it.
Persona for that one.
Yeah.
And then I added a third belief kind of early in the session after talking to John.
Mm-hmm.
The revolution just made room for leeches like John to grow fat, and now he's at my neck. I'll go to this fight of his, but I'll be sizing him up, not his fighters.
Cool.
And
Sounds
maybe
good.
I feel like I'm getting fate for
Yeah,
that
take
one.
a fate for that one for sure.
Taking any wager, answering any
Yes,
challenge.
definitely fate. Yeah,
This is like lotus juice.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that happened a couple of times.
And then I don't think my second one really came up of when someone tries to touch me or connect emotionally, push them away.
Yeah, no, I'd like to, and again, this is one where, like, I can put NPCs in your rant stuff for this, but this is one where I think, like, Agnes, just based on that scene at the end, like, Rooster has an instinct to push people away if they try to connect with him at all. I think that's one way that you two could kind of, like, interact in an interesting way.
And I feel like it's gonna get hit next session.
So, actually, like, Jess, if you two want to do the fate point mill thing, if you read an instinct or a belief about trying to get close to Rooster, you're done, right? Because he's just going to say no and make things more complicated, and you're going to try, and you're going to get fate, and you'll both get fate for it, until he finally says, like, actually, okay, I'll let you in, and then you'll both get persona for, like, changing and doing the thing. So, definitely something to consider for next time.
And then in terms of traits, I have masterless, scarred, gambling addict,
Yeah.
gambling addiction, survivor, pliant, brutish, lame, broken, stubborn, cold-blooded.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of those especially came up, except maybe masterless, where I was just like, I'm gonna go gamble all this money away. Fuck it.
Yeah, so my thought, like, gambling addiction, you shouldn't have done that. Basil's gonna be pissed. It went okay, like, you managed to, like, come out with the same amount of money, and you could try to make it so he'll never notice, but he's gonna be pissed if he finds out. That will complicate your life. And the money was not meant for that, and, like, it was irresponsible. Also, brutish, like, you didn't have to be such a dick to John. He will remember that and treat you less well next time. You definitely complicated your life with brutish today.
Yay.
Good work.
Yay.
Good job, everybody, with the fate points and the being complicated and fucked up individuals. Cool. Okay. Well, as is becoming my new favorite tradition, I'm gonna let you talk yourselves out so that I can go and do this Reddit thread setup. So, tell people things. Andrew, I'm putting you in charge.
Cool. I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
Fuck all you guys. The reason I'm gonna go first is that so I'm pretty excited. The bike shop I work at closes over like half of December. Closed, so from like the 20th on or something. And during that time, in order to keep myself busy, I'm gonna do some streaming under the Twitch creative kind of category. So I'm gonna be doing some like essentially I'm gonna be like relearning a bunch of skills that I have that are kind of out of practice. And so it's gonna kind of be like a fairly like newish, friendly, like I'm trying to make it kind of like an introductory thing to a lot of like Photoshop painting and kind of basic graphic design stuff.
Sweet.
Cool.
And then possibly branching out into like some of the 3D modeling stuff as well, depending on what folks are stoked about. So I'm going to do that. I also have some other ideas that are still percolating. So I'll be, shouting about that on my Twitter. You can follow me at CommutingPro on Twitter. And yeah, I do this show and the other old school adventures with Adam as well. So you can check those out. Those are always fun.
Wicked.
The Torch, the Goblin Religion, brightly and briefly. Yeah.
Sweet, man. I'm really excited to see you do creative stuff because that shit is sorcery to me. So it's fun watching people do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna watch.
Do you want to go next, Jess?
Me? Okay.
Do it.
Hi. Thank you for watching. I draw stuff too. Also, I don't know. I tweet about games and comic books and art and fashion and Star Wars and science and all kinds of crazy stuff. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that at Silden, SYLDENN. Love
I just
ya.
want to note there's like a Star Wars poster in.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Your background Star Wars poster.
Yeah, I haven't hung her up yet.
And just FYI, we were grocery shopping, and there was like a random Star Wars stand in the. She's like, "Oh shit, I need this.
Yeah, I think I said, "Oh shit," and then I like asked him if I could have it.
That's real.
Like anyone could stop you.
Yeah.
Can I buy this with my own money? I'm an adult, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Awesome. Yeah, last session when you weren't here, I replaced your webcam with a picture of you that you had drawn from your Tumblr.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice.
It was very easy. I was like, I gotta get a good picture of Jen. Oh yeah, she just drew a bunch of pictures of herself. I'll use one of those. It's perfect.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, Colin, you want to round us off?
Yeah, so I'm just super tired, and if you want to know how tired, I will tweet about it on my Twitter at twitter.com. It's actually https://www.twitter.com/svnder. And yeah, I do stuff sometimes in video games and science. Check that out. Oh, cool! I see the chat command is still broken. Every time
Damn it!
someone's like exclamation Colin, exclamation Sunder.
I'm gonna go and fix that for you
Colin.
right after this.
So, Colin, I have a quick question for you, though.
Yeah.
This string of letters that you just referenced, do I have to have any particular like programs or like interface devices to use it? Can you walk me through it on a bit of a big picture?
Well, you understand what digital means?
No.
All right,
If
so
you
here's what's gonna happen.
digital language.
You two can do your first stream about the internet and explain to us how to access Twitter.
Yeah, you just need a computer box and interwire and
Fantastic. That might have been my favorite. I mean, I like that you just said, I'm super tired and gonna get a little goofy. Nice work.
it's been a long day.
Thanks, Colin. No, that was great. Yeah, a really good session, everybody. I'm very happy with this game. I'm always excited to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can follow me if you'd like to on Twitter at Skinny Ghost. Follow Roll20, Roll20 app. Both of those will tweet at you when we will be going live with further episodes of Burning Wheel and with future one-offs like Fall of Magic, which we did last week. If you missed it, it was super cool. We have the videos all up on YouTube at MS Roll20 over there, so you can go check that out. Also, if you missed any previous episodes or cool stuff for Burning Wheel, you can pop over there and give it a look-see. Tomorrow and Sunday, speaking of Star Wars, I'm going to be GMing for Roleplay with Pocket, Jesse Cox, Itme JP, and Strippin, and we're going to be doing a little Age of Rebellion. So if you want to see the Roll20 API in action and see us use some weird dice and make lightsaber noises and what have you, tune in for that.
Awesome.
I'm really
Hell
excited. Yeah, it should be pretty sweet. We're doing a 2-part, 4-hour apiece sort of micro campaign, and
Cool.
I'm really excited to see how it goes. I think it's gonna be fun and silly, and it's gonna be Star Wars. So come on over and check that out. That's gonna be live at ItMeJP, and I'll probably also host it here and on my channel, so you can check it out wherever you like. Otherwise, just throw us a follow and keep on tuning in. You can create your own Roll20 account, roll20.net, for free, so you can also roleplay. So go and do that. Thanks for another lovely episode, y'all. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Hi,
guys.
y'all.
Good night.